welcome on into the Board YouTube channel for your Thursday pick and roll. It is October 31st. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. We're here to break down the slate and go through our best bets and then answer some questions from the chat in the show here presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook. Thank you so much to FanDuel for sponsoring our content here on the board over the course of this season. And so far this season, we've been consistently finding the right spots, but it just has not translated yet into the wins on the profit margins. And some more decent spots were found yesterday, but we lose on some slight margins once again overall. 4 picks were in play yesterday. Did not fully come off, but with 4 games today, we're hoping to get back in action, get back on top of things here. So make sure you stick around for the full episode today to hear all of the information regarding the 4 games in the slate, all of the information regarding any bets in those 4 games, and then we'll also hear from you guys in the chat for some more questions, which could inform some additional bets on top of things. So if you enjoyed what you see from today's show, make sure you do smash that like button. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the Board YouTube channel. Let's try to get to 50 likes once again on today's episode. And actually, we were very close to 100 likes on yesterday's show. So thank you so much, everybody, for all that extra support. But before we jump into things here, a word from our sponsor, FanDuel, because there is a fantastic offer to get you started for the NBA season here. At FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, they want you to catch all the action. They're going to be giving everyone 3 months of League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. There's so much exciting stuff to look forward to regarding the NBA season. Hopefully some more winners on the way. And with bets going all around the league, why not watch them live? On top of this, for a limited time, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So next time you get a hunch on who is going to win or how many points a player will score, bet on FanDuel and watch those picks come to life live with League Pass. Just visit FanDuel.com/board to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire in 7 days after receipt. After 3 months free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel any time, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Or visit mbgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, back in action here. Let's talk about the games that we had yesterday. So, I don't know where to start with this one because those 4 plays, 3 losses. It was rough. Jalen Duren, what did he play? 10 minutes before he fouled out? I think he played 8 minutes when I checked at halftime, and he had 3 fouls. Nope, no points. Did he foul out in 10 minutes, Pips?
Yeah, first time he fouled out in his entire career, and he played 6 minutes, got 2 fouls, then came back. Another foul after 2 minutes. Then both fouls started second half. First possession, 4th foul, and last quarter came back again, made 5th foul in first possession and 6th foul in second possession. So he fouled out like 4 straight possession with fouls, like when he already had 2 fouls. I never seen anything like that.
He didn't even attempt a field goal in this game because he was just fouling the entire time.
He had free throws and missed both. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Disaster on that one. Not quite a disaster. 2 plays that could have won here. I guess OG Anunoby, we had the over 12.5. He finishes on 11 points. I guess we got slightly fortunate that we were in the mix there because he only took 6 shots. The usage wasn't super high there, but he just was knocking things down.
He was passing on looks. Like everything, like Branson will get 2 on the ball, and he'll get the ball, and he will just afraid. I don't know, was he afraid to shoot something? But he had 11 points like 5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah.
And for the next 13 minutes on the floor, he didn't attempt a single field goal.
We just needed a layup. We just needed like a
Yeah,
fast break layup.
unbelievable stuff.
Free
Yeah,
throws. Don't get him. And then the three-leg parlay. Tatum and Brown cover their 20 points. Boston, granted, maybe slightly fortunate to have been in that position. They were down by over 20 points. Was it 23, I think, late in the game? They force overtime. They crumble late in overtime. Siakam hits an insane late three. Jaylen Brown takes a not-so-great shot to tie the game, and we don't get the Celtics money line on the three-leg parlay there. That one looked good. That was a shame to lose, really.
yeah,
The winning play,
yeah.
though.
I mean,
Go ahead. Go
they
ahead.
had so many. Like even though they were so down, they had plenty of chances to win. I watched the entire game. Tatum and Brown were playing real stupid, just trying to isolate and step back, shooting step back threes. I think Tatum was like 5 from 15, 5 from 16, and Jalen Brown was 1 from 11 or 1 from 10 from 3. Like, it's really stupid. So, yeah, disaster was showing from Boston, and they almost win, even though they played like crap. So, yeah.
But at least we do get the winner on Trae Young assist, Jordan Poole assist. Trae Young, we needed 10. He gets 15. Jordan Poole, we needed 6. He gets 9. So winner there, recoups some of the assets, but we're looking to have a good day today with 4 games on the NBA slate. We're going to break down all 4 of these games, talk about any bets that Pips may have or any conversation surrounding bets. Then after we cover all 4 of these games, we're going to hand it over to you guys in the chat. Send in your bets for the day and send in your questions for myself and Pips to react to a little bit later on in the show. Always a good portion of the stream, which can inform some additional bets. And hopefully some of those additional bets, like some of the leans, maybe you took the RJ Barrett, Grady Dick unofficial bet, which ended up crushing. Hopefully, maybe you looked at the Cleveland Cavaliers on the spread. So, some good information shared despite despite just the 4 official picks yesterday. Let's start today with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Milwaukee seriously struggling to start the season, but looking to get back on track here against the Memphis Grizzlies. It's going to be difficult to do, but they are still 6.5-point favorites on the road here. Over under set at 232. The spread to me, I'm not saying Memphis are the greatest team in the world here, but the way the Milwaukee Bucks have played so far this season, is it possible to look at the Grizzlies on the spread here?
I don't think so. They are on back-to-back. And last night we saw both Smart and Bain injured and not returned. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson are questionable. So we could actually get a team without Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, and Marcus Smart with Ide only starter out there. So that won't look fun at all. So I think the spread is like set conservative in the case everyone is out for the Memphis. But I think if the Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson are ruled in, this will probably go down to like 4.5, maybe even 3.5, that range. I expect it to move 2 points on the news on Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson playing. So yeah, that's on the spread. And yeah, Bucks look terrible. They lost to the Nets and the Bulls, so like
They
insane.
stink. Doc Rivers, man.
They real stink.
Do you think Doc Rivers is going to last the whole season?
I hope not. I love Giannis. I love Damian Lillard. I love like even Brook Lopez. Like I same with Chris Middleton. Like this is like good team that's have some great players and likable players. I don't know. Like I like Damian Lillard. I like
Yeah.
Giannis.
I get
I
what you're
mean,
saying.
and then you have a coach that no one likes, and no one likes Bucks now. Like and no one thinks highly of Bucks, and for a good reason. You saw they lost to the Nets and to the Bulls, and it wasn't even close. So yeah, I do hope they fire him because there's so many years Damian Lillard and Giannis can play. I mean, Giannis still has a long career. Lillard probably 2 years of prime, and it's now wasted with Doc Rivers as a coach. Even if they get better in the regular season, they'll still won't do shit in the playoffs with Doc Rivers as a coach. So I do hope this trend continues and that they fire him so they can get some fresh start because this team deserves better than Doc Rivers.
Agreed on that front. But as
But
for the
yeah, we
players,
do
yeah,
have
you
a
you bring up a really good point though. Like these are likable players. Like there's no reason to hate any of the players really on the Milwaukee Bucks, but nobody likes them because the coach makes them play such poor basketball. But that being said, despite the players being questionable, you still like a look on a Milwaukee Bucks player today.
yeah. I do like it. I like Damian Lillard, and I I do like him. It moved on the FanDuel, but I still like it at 24.5 for half unit. But we can bet it on shop around and get 23 and a half
23.
for minus 120 and minus 125. Even to play up to minus 130 at 23 and a half over on points for Damian Lillard. Uh, I just think this matchup is really good for Damian Lillard, as you can switch to the props madness. Not much here in terms of games. Only 4 games played this season, but we saw Lavin scoring 30 points against the Memphis, and it was like effortless, like easily scored 30 points. And then we can look at down there pick and roll ball handler, insane stuff. But Damian Lillard is scoring 54% of his points as a pick and roll ball handler and 29 as on the free throw line. Memphis sucks against both. They're giving fifth most to pick and roll ball handlers and fifth most free throws. And yeah, he's scoring most of his 40 points against above the break threes, and Memphis allows second most above the break threes. They are playing Zach Ide in deep drop coverage, and I think Lillard could be one of like top 5, top 3 players that can exploit drop coverage. And this is an amazing matchup in a high-paced game against Memphis. Memphis, they are fourth in pace, so everything goes like perfect matchup for Damian Lillard, honestly.
All right, so the official bet is Damian Lillard over 23.5 points. You can get it minus 120 or minus 125 with our sportsbook partner, the FanDuel Sportsbook. They have the 24.5 at minus 106. Half unit is fine on that one, but if you can shop around and find a little bit better, you can go over there. So 23.5 minus 120 is going to be the official bet for today's show. Get the 23.5 if you have it. Let's go to the next game. I'm sure you'll have lots to say about this. The Houston Rockets going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks today. A Texan clash between these two. Dallas favored by 6.5 with an over/under of 225.5. How do you think your Rockets will look against a very tough opponent in the Mavericks?
I think they have weapons to compete with Dallas Mavericks. I think Fred VanVleet on Kyrie and Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson at all times against Luka Doncic, and Şengün being able to cover Gafford and Lively. I think this is like Houston are well matched for these Dallas Mavericks, and I think they can compete. And on the other side, they need to find how to defend Jalen Green, and who is improved this season, which is nice. And they need to find how to defend this guy, even though he struggled so far this season. So overall, I think my Rockets should be able to cover this 6.5. Could be biased, so not anything official there, but I do like chances for my Rockets, especially at 6.5. That should be an easy cover. You can win
So
this.
So we talked before the season began when the Rockets extended Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green. Alperen Şengün, I think if you look at that and don't think it's an absolutely insanely good contract, you don't know ball. For Jalen Green, this is a polarizing player. You were not a huge fan of the contract that was given to him, but based on the start of the season, how's that contract looking? What's your sentiment currently on Jalen Green as a Rockets fan?
So I hated Jalen Green for much of the years, not because like I don't think much of him as a player, but because I know the tools he has, the athleticism, the first step, the explosiveness, almost unmatched in the entire league. Like his first step is like he's just in front of you, like in split second. But he didn't utilize it well. He played stupid. Like he didn't play to his strengths. I expected with Udoka being there, like that will change. He will mature. Last season didn't happen. He still was terrible. This season looks way better. Like so far this season, he's one of the most improved players so far. Like yeah, I know it's been 4 games, 28 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 41% from three on 10 on 11 and a half attempts. So that's I think probably league leading 3-point shooting. I don't know if anyone in the league shooting more than 11.5 threes a game,
I'd
and
be
he's making
surprised.
yeah, and he's making 41% on them. That's not going to sustain, but so far so good. Like he just need to a bit improve on 2 pointers because he's shooting 45% on them. That's crazy. Like he can finish around the rim on anyone, and he's shooting 45% on threes. He's unstoppable in transition because he's so quick. So yeah, I do think so far looking way better. We'll see if there's more improvement throughout the season. But yeah, and also there are some rumors that Şengün is playing through injury. We saw like after the games he gets some stuff on the back and some heat and warming, so he has some back issues, which could explain stuff because last season when he had like poor stretch, like 2 weeks where he was doing terrible, same thing was like he had some back issues. So that could be that he's playing through injury and we are overreacting. But last 3 games for Alper and Şengün were really poor.
All right, so we'll see if that works out. But Jalen Green, currently second best odds, well, second most favored odds, if that's the right wording for it. A second on the board to win the most improved player award. He's tied with Mobley and Cunningham for that award. That is, it's funny. Those are the top three picks from that draft, the 2021
I
draft
had
altogether
I
there.
had my picks. I mean, Paulo is playing out of the world, and I think so far he should be like he is the favorite and should win. But I bet on Ivy at plus I think
Oh
eight
yeah,
seven seven
I'll look
thousand.
up. I'll look up what we got it
Yeah,
at.
yeah, and his plus because I predicted 21 4 and 4, and he has 21 5 and 4 so far. So yeah, and if Cade misses some game, that could even go up. But he's playing great, and I really love it. And but yeah, it's tough for him to win when guys like Banquero are close to averaging almost triple double with 30 points.
Yeah, we got him on the show at plus 4,000, but it was available widely at like 7,500, which we did
Yeah.
also express on the live show. If you really shopped around, maybe you have a plus 10,000 ticket on him, but currently he's at plus 1,600. So that's an interesting spot on Jaden Ivey. It's a in season with respect. There's a very high juice on these markets. Like how many players
Yeah.
here like 2,000 or better? It's just really
But
tough to win on these in season.
out of all these players, like so far, what we saw, like Paolo is number one. He just took huge step up.
Yeah, the 50
But
bomb. I mean,
yeah, yeah, and also, but he also had an easier schedule. Cade is looking way better. Mobley, I don't know how much room is there to increase the numbers a lot. With everyone else needs some injury probably. Chet Holmgren looking amazing. Like like he was great last season. This season another level. Like he's so far probably the best Thunder player. Like better than Shea. Like so far, like he is absolutely amazing. And then we have Jalen Green who like increased his scoring by like 7 points while increasing efficiency, which is obviously huge for the most improved player.
something about the most improved player list, just it's all guys on like rookie contracts. I do miss when it was more centered around more veteran players who just took on a huge leap later on in their career. Because like these are expected leaps. These are
Yeah,
expected passive development for these younger guys.
like when Siakam won. I mean, it was third year, but
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, took a huge leap. Like
But yeah, he was he was not a starting caliber player. Like Paolo Banchero was an all-star last year, and he's
Yeah,
favored to win the Most Improved Player award. Victor Wembanyama was the Rookie of the Year last year, and he was favored to win the award this year. Like Siakam really came out of nowhere as like an energy bench guy, and all of a
yeah,
sudden was one of the most important pieces on a championship team. So that's the
yeah.
most
Also,
improved.
when Ja Morant won and when Ingram won, so that was like, yeah, these guys are like fringe superstar, like fringe stars and fringe all-star players, and they win the award. So I completely agree with you. Like this is, I like before the season, when Benyama was favored to win,
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
what the fuck is there?
He
I
won the
mean,
Rookie of
I
the
wouldn't be
Year.
surprised if he did win. Like, if he had tremendous season, like people will vote for Wemby, whatever it is. Like they like the guy so much,
Yeah,
but
it was
yeah,
John
but
Morant.
he's
When John
really
Morant won,
struggling.
it changed it. John Morant changed the award,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but I mean, last couple of years, I really did like Lowry Markkanen trajectory to winning a most improved player. That's
That was a good one. That was a
yeah, that was a
good
very
example of the award being
yeah.
given out. Absolutely, that was a good change up to the way things were heading. I completely agree. All right, next up on the board, Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs. Utah 2-point favorites at home for the Spurs. I don't think people are expecting the world out of them this season, but I think we have to say they've slightly underwhelmed. And I would have thought perhaps they'd be favorites against the Jazz, but given the way the season's gone, I think the spread does make sense. What are your thoughts on this game?
I don't know if Spurs are they played last night, so I
Yeah, they
don't
played
know if
last night, second night
Wemby
of
and
back to
Chris
back.
Paul are going to play. I think that's huge. If Chris Paul and Wemby are playing, they should be probably favorites by a bit because Lauri Markkanen is questionable and he did left the last game and they look completely terrible against the Kings. So I think Spurs have their chances in this one. But yeah, no lines for player props on the
Just for all this
FanDuel.
uncertainty around the players.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to make a bet. Uh, when it opens later, try to combine Wembanyama 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, and Chris Paul 6 plus assists. That should give
Okay.
some price like plus 200, plus 180. That should be a good bet because like if they're playing this smash, but like Wemby had a really difficult matchup. Like, okay, he did struggle. He averaged 16 points a game this season. He
It's
played
six
Rockets
yesterday.
twice and Thunder. Rockets twice and Thunder. Rockets defended with him with Dylan Brooks and sending help whenever he got the ball, and Thunder just took away everything from him. I think it was like career low field goal attempts. Yeah, he had 5 field goal attempts in 27 minutes last night.
And three of those were threes, by the way. He only took
Yeah.
two twos yesterday.
Yeah, so they took everything. Chet was absolutely amazing, but Thunder were also one of the
The
like when
Thunder are
Hardison
so
gets back.
good, man.
Yeah, when Hardison gets back, this is like one of the all-time great defensive teams. Like this is unbelievable what they can do on defense.
It
And
already
also
is
they,
one of the all-time defensive teams. Man.
yeah,
They don't even
yeah,
have their starting center. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, oh my
It's
God,
amazing.
Shay's a good defender, at least like from a steal perspective. Lou Dort, one of the best defenders in the league. Casey Wallace is a fantastic perimeter defender already in his career.
Yeah.
Chet is like a future DPOY candidate. Jalen Williams holds his own. Alex Caruso comes off the bench.
Yes.
Like
Alex
this is
Caruso probably like top 3 perimeter defenders of last decade. Like
yeah.
Drew Holiday, Caruso, and I don't know who is like third guy there. Yeah, insane.
This team's gonna be really tough to beat in a playoff series. That's the cliche. Imagine beating this team 4 times out of 7. It's gonna be very tough to do
I
so.
saw an interesting post last night, and someone said like the battle of different play styles. Boston is taking more threes than twos, and Thunders are like heavy twos and low volume on threes, which is like complete opposite so far in the league. I think Thunder are near the bottom at threes taken, and Celtics are on the top of the league. So it's very interesting.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's personnel. The Celtics have built this 3-point shooting machine, which is very valuable towards like 3-point shots. Very valuable. That's why teams shoot more of it. Maybe for the Thunder, obviously personnel related, they don't have the greatest shooters out there, so it's not a team that's significant for floor spacing. But maybe part of it as well is they figure it's a lot easier to get back on defense when you grind out a possession and take a two rather than a three, which can like lead to higher variance on rebounds, longer rebounds. Maybe some of it is just so much confidence in their defense that they feel like they just take easier shots. But part of it is personnel for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's mostly down to personnel.
So I mean, if they add some shooters to this team, right now they have to play Isaiah Joe heavy minutes. He's a decent player, but there's reliance there from a shooting perspective. I wonder. I don't really know what other assets they have here, but I
But yeah,
wonder if a priority goes towards shooting at some point.
it's like it will be very interesting to see a team with surrounding Shea with shooters because he puts so much rim pressure with so many
Yeah.
drives. That's absolutely insane how much he opens up. Like he turned out like players like Dort to be a main spot up shooter, like the guy that can't make a layup and can make free throws. But he had one thing: defend, and make wide open threes, which are always there. So yeah, I think J Dub also needs to increase his 3-point attempt because he can make them. He is like a really good shooter, and he just needs to increase the volume, even if the percentages goes a bit down because his percentages are crazy. So yeah, I think this team can only improve, which is scary, right?
Yeah, we 5 years ago when they made that trade with Paul George, you were saying watch out for the Thunder in 4 or 5 years once they start using all these picks. Well, here we are. The Thunder are really, really good. I don't know if anybody would expect them to be this good, but here's the level they are at as a result of trading. Guess what? The Clippers, who are struggling this season, actually not struggling, they're 2-2, but supposed to not be very good this season. Guess who owns their pick for this year's draft? As always. So if the Clippers don't make the playoffs, Thunder have another lottery pick to add to this team. It is truly
all our
crazy.
hopes are in James Harden's hands. It will be
Yes.
yeah.
James Harden needs to stop the Thunder from becoming a dynasty for the next 10 years. Speaking of James Harden and the Clippers, they are at home today against the Phoenix Suns, plus 4.5 for the Clippers in this one. Over under is 221. What do the Clippers need to bring to stop the Phoenix Suns tonight?
Oh yeah, this is a tough one. They are on back to back. Suns finally played well. Uh, First game of the season, they went to the overtimes, even though like they had like 25 turnovers. So yeah, they just need to. Yeah, maybe we can have a bet in this one. Let's check something out. I think this should be a Suns win, and let's combine it. Yeah, let's do this in this one. If you lose this one, I won't bet money lines anymore. But I'm taking Suns money line combined together with Norman Powell 15 plus points.
All right, Norman Powell, my guy, NBA champion with the Raptors. Norman Powell, 15 plus points combined with Phoenix Suns on the money line. Maybe a little bit of negative correlation, but it's not a super high amount of points here. But 15 plus points for Powell. Phoenix Suns money line, minus 110 odds on FanDuel. That is the second official bet of the day. Norman Powell's been very good to start the season. What do you like about his matchup tonight?
Yeah, he did struggle in the first game of the season. I can show you on the Twitter. Is easy to see. The first game of the season was against the Suns. He scored 17 points on 5 from 16, and then he kind of went off and scored 37, 20 in a blowout win in last game against the Portland, 30 points last night. This team is heavily dependent on Pavel doing well, and he is like first we can see here like he's scoring on handoffs and pick and roll ball handler as a ball handler. We kind of used to him being a handoff guy. I will actually say one of the best handoff guys. Like he's really good at playing that. But we never see him as pick and roll ball handler. And he did play a lot against the Suns. They played Nurkic in deep drop coverage. We can see that he's scoring 32% from rim from the paint, but outside the restricted area. That's mostly because like against drop coverage, and he has that shot, and we can see that Suns are giving shots everywhere besides the corners. So him coming down from the pin downs and attacking the middle when Nurkic is drop coverage should get him wide open shots. I rewatched the game before the show, and every shot he took, and it's mostly like pin down or pick and roll ball, like as a main pick and roll guy with Zubac setting a great screens. Like these screens are really tough, and he then driving into the wide open mid range, and he had so many looks, like so many great looks against the Nurkic, and I can expect it tonight because their offense can be just Harden playing pick and rolls, and they realized that after the first game, and then next couple of games they ran so much to Pavel, and they need Pavel to shoot like 15 times, and this should be easy to cover in that scenario. If they have one good defensive player on the court, it's always on Harden. So Pavel, he'll positive matchup, and yeah, I think this is a smash pot. Honestly, first game, I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how the Suns Clippers managed to go to the overtime. But I watched the entire game. I was like, if I didn't know the score, I would think Suns were up by 15. How great they played, but they lost possession battle. Nurkic was in foul trouble. They lost. They gave offensive rebounds, and they had 24 turnovers. I just spoke at that time. But Mike Budenholzer, ball, and his way of hoops needs time to settle. And now we saw Suns losing against Clippers, losing against Lakers, and then they won against Dallas and played great against the Lakers. I think they will improve with the season going on, while Clippers are kind of on back to back after Harden and Zubac handling huge load in these early games, and I think on back to back, I could see them struggle. And with Suns improving, I have them to win.
All right, so going back to a money line here. Last season, most, I don't know what the percentage was, but a very, very high percentage of the times you included a spread or a money line in the SGPs, it would hit. It was like a ridiculous percentage. I think it was like at least 80%, which is higher than it was supposed to be. So,
Yep.
didn't get the luck on the Celtics yesterday. They lose in overtime, but hopefully we get it here today with the second official pick of the day. All right, now it's time for the portion of the show where we go through your questions, your comments from the chat. If you have any bets you want opinions on, if you have any questions regarding anything, please let us know in the chat, and we'll go through what we have so far here. So first of all, Nicholas Jepson asks about Luka Doncic under 30.5 points. Actually put another comment later that said minus 110 odds on this one. Any thoughts on Luka Doncic in the matchup here against the Houston Rockets?
And don't bet it. The reason is I know my Rockets will be more than happy to play Luka Doncic in no, not mostly single coverage. They'll put Dylan Brooks on him and Amen Thompson, not much help, and they'll be like, okay, shoot over Luka. They will try to take away his assist. You remember last season I bet Luka over points and under assist against Houston Rockets both games. Last game we won first easily. But like if you take a look at the last season Luka numbers, I can pull it up easily. Luka Doncic last season against Houston Rockets, 47 and 37 points. So I don't know. I like the Rockets were great in the. Also look down there. Like Rockets give third most isolation points, seventh most to pick and roll ball handlers, and third most free throws. That's not great for going against Luka Doncic. So I lean over actually, not under on this one. So yeah, no go to me.
There you go. That's why perhaps the questions are good. Next up from Fries, We have the Damian Lillard over 23.5 points as an official bet for today, but a question regarding the threes as well. I'm sure if you like the over points, you kind of like the over on threes as well, Pips.
Yeah, but I do like because drop coverage, E-Day, wide open threes from pull up, that should be good. But the thing is, even against the Boston Celtics, he attempted only 8, against the Nets only 7. So I don't know what's the issue there. I think Lillard should take 10 threes a game because he's one of the best in the league, like over the last decade. Probably second best after Steph Curry. Is there any doubts about that?
No.
I can't think of like Donovan Mitchell maybe, but I don't. I think Damon is better in
Compared to
prime.
Dame, no.
Maybe this season or last season, yes, but overall last decade, I think Lillard is far ahead. So yeah, overall makes sense when you look like game theory, like matchup wise and pace and drop coverage makes sense. Good value at plus 122, but the volume was not there. We'll see.
All
I
right,
do like
so the preferred play is, of course, the points play that was an official bet, but it goes in line with the 3-pointers as well, with the drop coverage analysis that Pips dropped for us. Back to the Rockets game. Question from Chocta W Trib, whatever the name is. Dylan Brooks over 2 3-pointers made. The line is 1.5 minus 104 at FanDuel. It's pretty in line with where the market is at for this one. Chat loves a good 3-point bet here, but what do you see for Dylan Brooks here?
I mean, he is taking a good amount. So the thing is with Dallas, we can also again go to the props madness, which is a good look. But he scores almost 72% of his points are spot up threes this season for Dylan Brooks, and I don't know how, but Mavs somehow give second most spot up shots. I watched 2 games of them. I didn't notice that they help so much, but with data is data over feelings. So I do think this is a good match of them. Like they are giving a lot from corners. Overall, they are giving, yeah, should be good.
It's solid. He's taking 5 a game so far this season. He took 5.5 per game last season. It's a small sample size, but
I would just say the thing is he's defending Luka Doncic. Foul trouble is almost inevitable for Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, that's true. He does typically defend Luka quite well. He does. I'm sure Dylan Brooks is relishing the matchup today. He's excited for this one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's the type
and
of guy
also
he is.
Like a game against Memphis, I bet like that's an automatic over for me. Didn't have it on the show, but privately when I just yeah, Dylan Brooks playing Memphis. Okay, that's an instant bet on over. So probably ignore the volume in that game because that's always an outlier because Dylan Brooks is like that guy.
Yes.
He like last game against the Spurs, 9 field goal attempts. First game of the season, 6, and then you look at the game against the Memphis, he had 12. So yeah, it's always like increased usage against the Memphis. I don't know, like I think probably in 10 years when he's really really old and playing, like he will still show up against the Grizzlies. Sorry, I don't know.
He's got that the vendetta within him. He wants to prove he's above the way they treated him, and definitely so far he's been doing that. Alan Churn asked thoughts on Trent over 11.5 points, minus 115 odds against the Grizzlies. Do you like his matchup today?
This is an interesting one. Also going back to props madness because just to see that so far this season, all 4 games he stayed under the line. His usage is not great. 6, 8, 8, 8 field goal attempts, which is looking at his efficiency, not great for this line. But I have an interesting one. Looking back to the Giannis last season against the Memphis, we can see that he had 25 potential assists in game 1, 23 potential assists in game 2, which probably means they did collapse on him And if they collapse on Giannis, that will leave Trent wide open. So I lean over on Gary Trent Jr.
It
Probably
also,
a bit weird approach, but when I see 23 and 25 potential assists for Giannis, I think Memphis are doubling him and collapsing on him. So that's opening up shooters like Gary Trent.
it also depends who's available to play today. So if no Jackson, then the job becomes a little bit easier for Giannis to score. So if Jackson's in, I guess it favors more so Giannis assists and Gary Trent going over that line.
I had that approach when they played 76ers for Giannis. Uh, they didn't have anyone to guard him, and it's complete opposite. Like when they don't have anyone to guard him, then they decide to
Ah,
double and collapse. And if Jaren Jackson is there, then they are okay. Like if you can score on
you know
Jaren
what? Yeah,
Jackson,
you know what? I didn't think about it that way, but like when the Raptors used to play Giannis and they didn't have any center on their roster, they would just put like 5 guys on him basically and say, "You're not scoring. We don't care if we lose. You are not scoring personally." So I
if I
do see
was
what you're saying there.
yeah, if I was the coach, I will never like if you like the thing with I don't know a couple of days ago what I saw like you have a good defensive player like let's say you have like Anunoby on Tatum. Let isolation like never bring anyone like if he can score 50 on OG so be it. But he won't like so yeah I don't know like if you have a good defensive player positive defensive player against isolation just don't bring help and yeah I don't know why teams do that like Jokic like you saw like Raptors defending Jokic with Poeltl single coverage. Poeltl is above average defensive guy you can live with it. But
Yeah.
Jokic will cook anyone, and that's why they almost won the game because they took everything else. Like Michael Porter Jr. didn't have a single wide open shot the entire game. I'm taking it. Like, I mean, Jokic is a bit like outlier, but
Yeah, yeah.
I never understood why coaches do that. Like, if you bring help, you're leaving someone wide open, and why do you want someone to shoot wide open corner threes? That's the most efficient shot in the league.
Yeah, you just need to play the percentages. What are you better off doing? Letting Jokic score layups that he has to work for consistently, or allowing, like you said, a high percentage look from the corner? That's just one
You
example,
are a
but
Raptors fan. Sometimes, like Nurse made some sense because he caused so many turnovers out of these, like, um, um, out of the mess he created with so much help. But most of the teams don't do that. Like, so
yeah, like if the Raptors were to play the Sixers, for example, like 4 guys would be on Embiid. They would give up points, but also they'd force turnovers. They would wear down Joel Embiid for the entire game. They'd crash the glass hard on offense, get extra possessions on offense. It'd be tougher for Joel Embiid to play defense and get back. So you have to find the right trade-off with your defense. You
yeah.
can't possibly take away everything, but you need to find the best source for getting stops and also perhaps helping you on offense in the same way with turnovers and the fatigue factor. That's a good example. Next question from Frankie Rodriguez asked about Jalen Green for 20 points. I don't know if this is a leg for a parlay, but his numbers are 23 and a half. If it's just a leg for a parlay, do you think Jalen Green is in for a good night here?
I would stay away from Jalen Green on parlays. The thing is, his ceiling is really high, his floor is really low, and he's not consistent. He can put up 40 points, he can put up 7 points in the same game, same matchup. So when I do same game parlays and like guys on lower lines, I do choose guys with very high median, very consistent like scoring, like the guys that okay line like Banker, like line is 22 and a half. He's scoring between 20 and 25 in 75% of the games, so he's very consistent. So I can include him. Guys that are usually like I don't know how to say it like in English, but the distribution is really high, like really wide
Variance.
variance and distribution of variance. But also distribution of the
The
points,
the
like
the, the standard deviation is
yeah,
wide.
it's standard deviation.
That's a
So
that's a
yeah,
fancy term for it.
yeah. I mean, I used it like in Croatian, like probably every day for my 6 years in college, as I'm did
Yeah,
have masters in civil engineering. So yeah, that's like so standard. But like when you are using second language to come to it,
of
it's a bit
course.
rough sometimes. Yeah,
We can forgive you for not knowing how to say it correctly in English. That's all right. We
yeah,
knew what you meant. There's a wider range of outcomes for
yeah.
him, which makes it more difficult to predict. Who's the most like opposite of that? Who is the most consistent? He's gonna get you this amount on a game to game basis. That just top of your head in the NBA. Just out of curiosity.
I think it's Banquero so far. Like he's always bringing 20 points, like almost every game, like 20 to Chris Middleton when he plays. Like if his line is set like 16 and a half, 14 to 18 is like almost always the case. I mean, it's LeBron James as well. Like he is,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
with
That's an
the
easy
10
one. Like,
plus.
yeah, that's an easy one. Like to pull. But yeah,
Next question here from the chat asking, well, we already kind of answered on the Luca one, but Luca over 17 and a half boards plus assists. You mentioned you like the Luca points today, so I'm not sure you'd favor this as well.
yeah. The chat is going opposite of my usual work. Probably some new people, but against the team that switch on defense and don't bring much help, you don't want to bet anything assist related over or points related under for superstars. So yeah, look at it could be totally different tonight, but overall, long term, that's not a great bet because like teams like Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Houston Rockets, Raptors back probably not now, but sometime like team that
Yeah, yeah.
switch on defense and don't bring much help. The Raptors did bring help, but Nets and Boston and Rockets don't bring much much help. So there is not easy assist targets. So you lean over on the high usage guys and under on low usage guys and on under on assist for creators. So I leaned under actually. So that's no go for me.
Fries asked about PJ Washington, who's been hot the last couple of games. The question says points plus rebound is over 12 and a half. Points plus assists is 12 and a half. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that's what you meant. The points plus rebound is 17 and a half, but nonetheless, PJ Washington overs today. Are you a fan of his matchup versus the Rockets? You know what? You just kind of explained what the switch heavy defense is. Goes in the opposite direction. A lower usage guy against a switch heavy defense.
Yeah, that the spot up shooters against switching defense never a good look. So when
Yeah,
you're
go ahead.
playing switching defense, you need to be picking up the guys that can create their own shot. That's it.
Yeah. Question from Snoopy. Wants to know what DPT and DSZ stand for on your prop madness tool. Can you
Oh
confirm?
yeah, we do have a glossary, so I can open it on the screen. So
Yep.
I'll zoom on a bit. So DPT is dominant play type of a player. So like for example, let's use Damian Lillard. So it says DPT pick and roll ball handler, and when you go down to the play type, we can see that most of his points of any play type he scores as a pick and roll ball handler. And for Damian Lillard, DSZ is dominant shooting zone of a player. So we can see that he scores most of his points as above the break three, 39%. So it says above the break three. And I'll just show you quickly. This is important for using filters. So we have opposing rank, defensive rank against the his dominant play type. So we can on this thing we can just uh, filter out teams that are, for example, we just filtered out 15 best pick and roll ball handler defenses, and everything else we can see on the screen are below average pick and roll defenses. And this is when we look how he performed against great pick and roll ball handler defenses. So he averaged 20 points against great pick and roll ball handler defense. And when we look at the against below average pick and roll ball handler defense, he averaged 27 points. So it's 7 points difference. So he scores most of his points as pick and roll ball handler. So it's heavily dependent on like his success. Is he playing good pick and roll defense or poor pick and roll defense?
Pretty incredible what your tool is capable of there. That was a really good example of it in action. Check out the Props Madness tool for additional bets throughout the day. Help inform your own bets over there. But very good information shared there. Gucci in the house asked on Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. Man, every question is on this Rockets game. So it's kind of similar. But like you said, Kyrie Irving's a more ISO guy. I like this one. More ISO guy gets a switch heavy defense should be a lean to the over. Is that correct?
Yeah, especially on 22 and a half. I think market is heavily juiced on over on 23 and a half.
Yeah, it's 23,
So
24 now.
yeah, so this is a good line, and you should take the bet.
If you have
Probably some
22 and a half,
local,
yes.
yeah, some local book has it at 22 and a half. But yeah, he's just playing better and better as the season goes on. He completely destroyed single coverage of Wolves, and I'll say I was very impressed how they defended Kyrie in that game, and he scored 35 points. Like Nickel Alexander Walker was putting him in jail. Like he was glued to him all the time, and he scored 35 points. I don't think Fred VanVleet can do much better. Like I love Fred VanVleet as a defensive player, but Nickel Alexander Walker is better.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there. Safe to say Kyrie can create his own shot. Yes, I would say that is a safe assumption.
Probably one of the all-time greats in creating
One of the
own
safest
shots.
thing you can say about Kyrie Irving. Yes. Last question here. Just for fun. It's a football question, so we don't need Pips' unless Pips has a take on this game. Thursday Night Football, Jets Texans. I'm by no means like a sharp NFL analyst, but Houston are for me a very fake good team. They are nowhere near as good as their record says. But yeah, you're Houston. You're gonna go with Houston because of the Rockets. Houston's +2 in this one. Jets -2. Houston is so it's funny. Houston is I think Houston's now 6-1. The Jets are Houston's 6-2. Sorry, the Jets are 2-6, but the Jets are favored by 2 points at home today. So that's
The
why
only
there's a
thing I know is that
position.
I don't like +2 in NFL. Like that's my like I'll bet money line instead.
Well, there's not a big difference in price. Sometimes a game can end on one of those points, but I understand what you're saying because it very rarely ends on 2 or 1. But there's still a bit of value on the extra points there.
It's just a joke. Don't take me seriously on NFL, guys. I'm just.
But yes, there are some injuries to the Texans. Diggs is out for the season. Nico Collins remains out. I think Houston's just fake good, man.
For people watching, like I watched every Super Bowl game for like the last 5 years, and I do watch NFL a couple of games before the NBA starts, like September and October. But yeah, I don't know much about football.
I watch a lot of the games, but yeah. I would lean Jets, but I think the Jets are also really bad, so I have no desire to bet on a side for this game. Okay, because Aaron said please, he said please, so I'll pull it up. Zubac's thoughts. That's it. No bet, no over under. I don't know what the questions were to, but Zubac, the Godfather.
My thoughts. I'll share my thoughts. I love the guy.
He's the Godfather.
My guy. I wear a wrong shirt. I should say like I should have my Godfather Zubac's shirt on this one. I was close to giving him out on the show as my main bet, but went with the Suns because. So my approach to this was I want to bet Zubac over. Damn, I'm afraid of a blowout. Okay, let's bet Suns. Honestly,
Okay.
my approach. Like I know the spread is not high, but when I'm afraid of a blowout in a low spread game, I should probably bet the other team. Like
You bet the other team.
I mean, like
bet on the team.
For a Clippers player, I'll bet the other team, which is Suns. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying there. The official pick, as Pips was just mentioning, was Suns money line. Norman Powell, 15 plus points. We got that -110 at FanDuel. That was one of the top prices in the market. It probably would be the top price in the market depending on your region. But as always, shop around for all of your wagers. For the first play, we took Damian Lillard over 23.5 points. It was available for -120 at the time we gave it out. I can confirm that. It was also available at -125. If you didn't have access to over 23.5, FanDuel had it over 24.5 at -106 odds, which Pips would recommend a half unit there.
Let me share a lean. I don't bet
Right.
rebounds, but for people that do, I'll share the lean. It is on Torian Prince over 3.5 rebounds. It's -132 on FanDuel, best price on the market. I will take it for just a lean, just sharing some thoughts on this. As we can see, I have rebound chances pull up here. First game of the season, 10 rebounding chances, 5 rebounds. Second game, 11 rebounding chances, 8 rebounds. The last 2 games, he had 8 rebounding chances. He averaged 6 rebounds again. We get 3.5 line, and he's now playing the Memphis. And you can see the first green on the on the opponent stats is they allow second most rebounds. The thing is, the Trent doesn't rebound. Brook Lopez is only boxing out. Lillard is not rebounding much. So it's Giannis and Prince on the wings rebounding. So I'm not surprised. And the 6 rebounds average will come down, but probably to like 4.5, 4.7. So this line has value against the team that gives second most rebounds and playing at high pace, so many possessions. So I do lean over, but I don't bet straight with rebounds, like really rare, especially non-bigs. So just a lean for to end the show.
Pips doesn't bet rebounds because it's hard to predict. You can't predict where the ball is going to fall once it hits the rim. It's just, is the player in
high variance. I did bet it before, and I realized it's my lowest edge, and I think everyone's lowest edge. If you're hitting at 6, 7, 8% ROI on points in other markets, I mean, it still makes sense to bet like if you on the market where you have positive ROI like 2%, but I'm not focused on it, and I kind of hate them, and I don't want to sweat them, and it's probably like or a long-term EV negative on my stress, so I just don't bet.
Fair enough. I mean, you've done really well with every other endeavor, so why force out rebounding bets? But hey, if you like to bet rebounds and you trust Pips and you like this price, then that's a bet that you can certainly take on. Only the 2 official picks for the show, as I said, only. It's still good amount of information here. Damian Lillard over 23.5 points, -120. Suns money line, Norman Powell, 15+ points, -110 at FanDuel. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the show today. We've been doing really well with the likes. Let's keep it going. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the show. Rate and review 5 stars if you're listening in audio form. And consider subscribing to the Board YouTube channel to help us on the road to 4,000 subscribers. It's Thursday. We got one more show coming up this week. We're going to be live tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time for a nice slate of NBA games to break down. We very much hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We will see you again tomorrow.